get these 2 boxes finished up from my last video. Also, if you're interested in any of these guitars you see hanging here, they're all on my Etsy site, Byrd Cigar Box Guitars. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so I've marked off what I want for the headstock, and I think it's let's see here, probably I think 4.5, yep, 4 3/4 is what I gave myself for the headstock. And so now what I'm going to do is, I know I'm going to probably still use a bone string guide. So what I'm going to do is set this at 25 1/4, right around that mark. So now I know down here on this end is where my bridge is going to land, and then I'll set my fret template on here just so I can see how many frets I'm going to get out of this thing. And then when I slide it this way, here's the mark for the end of the box, and here's a mark where the bridge is going to go, just right past this gold area. And you can see here, if I come over the box, I can get all 24 frets on this guitar. So let's go cut this thing out. Okay, you saw me cutting the fret slots, but I went ahead and fretted this up. I've done plenty of videos on fretting these things up. I've already put the holes in here for the tuners. So now I need to wire this joker up. I went ahead and finished up the Arturo Fuente. It's just got a piezo underneath the bridge. These 2 awesome sound holes in here, man. Woo! All right. We'll get a listen at this here in a minute, but it does sound awesome. Yeah, so this is just very basic. The last one was a fretless. This one's fretted. It's got 2 giant sound holes and piezo underneath the bridge. This Java box is gonna have a piezo, and the more I got to thinking about it, I was like, man, I'm gonna do another pickup of some sort in here. So I opted to do a single coil. What's cool is I was digging around online, and I think it popped up in my Facebook feed. Fear No Byrd CBG. He sells these awesome thin or 0 clearance or small clearance single coils. So this is going to get a piezo and this single coil. I'm going to do a 3-way switch. So I will show you how I wire that up. Someone in one of my previous videos asked about wiring up a cigar box guitar. So I'll go over that, or I'll at least show portions of that. So what I did with this is I just made like a little template. So you can see this template is, fit this in here, yep. It's the size of this, but then there's room on the back. And I left a lot of room side to side. And the reason for that is you'll also notice like I don't have any holes in here to attach this yet. So what I will do, this fits in here perfectly, but it does slide ever so slightly left and right, and I can adjust it up and down. So I will put it in here and wire it up, but I'm just not going to attach it. I'm going to wait until I get the strings on it. That way I can get these poles positioned perfectly. Not that it's going to much matter for picking up the sound, but just aesthetically, you know, if they were off to one side or the other, I think it would look pretty bad. So that's the plan there. So yeah, let me I gotta clean up my area. Whew. Putting that other guitar together, and I just keep piling junk here and doing stuff, and you know, just I gotta clean up my stuff, and then we'll wire this guitar up. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna put a piezo in here and a single coil. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put this piezo in here. And I know everybody has different spots and or methods they like to use when they do a piezo. I follow, I guess, what I would call the pucket method. He always puts them right here underneath the bridge on the neck itself, and you know, kind of bury it in some hot glue. That's what I did with that Arturo Fuente. That's what I'm going to do with this one. So I've got a spot cut out. I got a little notch cut out here for the wires as well. And since it's going to get some killer strings, I cut out this part of the killer springs, and that's just to keep the glue from sticking to the lid. So put a little glue in here and put this thing on the underneath the lid and let it dry a little bit. So a little bit there. Hold that there underneath the lid where it's supposed to go. Okay, just like that. I got the pot switch hole for the jack. There's the jack, but I'm going to wire it up outside the box and then just slide this in like that. That's my plan. The other thing you'll notice when I open this box up is this wire hanging here. So since this is getting a single coil, I need to ground my strings. So right here underneath this rivet is that wire. It is touching that rivet. So it will ground that string, and then when that string contacts the top of the bridge, which is going to be this right here, it will ground the rest of the strings. So I have to make sure that I end up grounding that to the potentiometer. So now I'm gonna flip the camera around again, and we'll get the wiring. All right, I got some of the wires cut. Went ahead and cut them to length. Sometimes I take my pickup wires and I shorten them. I'm not gonna do that on this one. But we're going to this three-way switch. So here's a three-way switch here. They're all pretty much basically the same. You got 3 lugs on the one side, you got this 1 lug on the back side. This 1 lug here, that's your ground. So, and then these 2 outside lugs, those are the input from your pickups. So This would be your front pickup, that would be in the front position, and this would be your back pickup, back position. And then this middle lug is gonna go to your potentiometer. Potentiometer, this left lug is your ground. This is a 250K pot because I'm using a single coil. That's kind of the rule, but you can do what you want. Kind of 500K for a humbucker, 250K for a single coil. The only reason why I bring that up is some of the ones, the lugs are a little different. You can actually, I don't want to break this one, but you can actually fold this all the way back so it touches the casing. Since it doesn't, I'll make sure the wire is long enough to go, or I've already done that. I made sure the wire is long enough to kind of jumper this lug to the casing, to the back, so that everything will be grounded to the back of this lug. So that's where we're going to start, right there. I went ahead and glued all these wire down. I still have to test it, and I still need to solder up to the jack. So once I solder everything to the jack, I'll test it. But I went ahead and neatened this up just because of having this neck now basically attached to the box. It makes it a little easier to just do that while I'm here. But just to review, so now we have this humbucker, or this single coil. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. This is a low profile. I think I mentioned that. This lid is about 3/8 of an inch thick. You see how it just barely comes inside that lid. So you see I made a mark here on my neck, anticipating having to cut a little bit out, but because I have a little relief here so that this doesn't touch the box anyway. It doesn't even touch here, so that's one of the cool things about that. Just like the top of the box, you don't have to cut into your neck, so I didn't have to cut any more into my neck than I normally would anyway. Okay, so this is the input for the single coil going to the ground. This is the input for the piezo, and then there's the ground, and this is going to my potentiometer. There's the input lug there. This is the output lug going to the jack, and then everything is grounded, including my string ground, and this is the ground for the jack. Flip it around, flip it around. I'm gonna solder up the jack. We'll test it, and then we'll be ready to button this thing up. In the middle is both. Back is just the piezo. Making sure. Front should just be the single coil. All right, time to put this thing together. Okay, here's the first one. Arturo Fuente double Chateau Fuente box. Two big giant sound holes, piezo underneath the bridge, volume knob, and a jack, of course. It's got the open gear, Shane Spiel open gear tuners. And this one has Steve Harvey killer strings. These are nickel, 42, 32, 22p. Thing's pretty nice. Now the last one I did something. I put a had something on the headstock. I didn't do anything on the headstock this time, but here you go. This is just a listen at her. Yep, plug her in. Yeah, this one's pretty cool, man. It's got oak neck and mahogany fretboard. I just put a little tongue oil on it and a little finish over the top of that. This thing is really awesome. Really awesome. All right, let's check out this Java box. Okay, here's the Java box. You guys saw me wire this thing up. It's got a piezo underneath the bridge. It's got this badass single coil up in the neck position. 3-way switch. Volume knob. Really cool oak neck, walnut fretboard. Still the straight headstock and the Shane Spiel open gear tuners. Man, this thing is really cool. What it sounds like acoustic. Let's plug this thing in, give her a listen. Okay, back position is the piezo. Front is the single coil. Middle blends the two. Yeah. Man, you guys know, if you watch my channel, I mean, whew, all of these guitars up here have humbuckers in them. I'm looking just to make sure. Yeah. This single coil is pretty mean right here. It's got a really good sound when you blend that, or when you put the piezo and the single coil together. Sounds really awesome. probably enough of that. You guys get the idea. Man, this thing is awesome. It's got this little tag on there, the Drew Estates thing. I was gonna like Mod Podge it down, but I kind of just like it hanging there. It doesn't, you know, I guess if you got this guitar and you didn't like it, you can just pull it off, or you could glue it down yourself. But I think it looks pretty cool just hanging there. Man, this thing is it's pretty tough. I really like this single coil. I think I'm gonna have to see about getting a couple more of these. This is pretty cool. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. I'm not sure what my next video is gonna be, but I know I have a whiskey box sitting here, so that might be it. I don't know yet. But anyway, thanks for checking out this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Catch you in the next one.